just let me adjust the menu. I think it's people and blogs actually on this one. So we went down to the beach on Saturday, me and my daughter and boyfriend. But I'm going to be uploading that video shortly because I'm still it's still being processed right now. I had about 20 clips or something, and it was a nightmare because I had to transfer it across the Bluetooth, and I couldn't get this phone to connect on the USB to computer. I just couldn't send any files over for some reason. I don't know why. So I've got my grenade thingy from the WW1. I've got a lot of stuff in it. I've got my 3D printer nozzles and some screws. Take all that lot out. Oh, there's a load more stuff in the bottom there. So yeah. So I'll just get everything. I'll just put it all on the table. Right, oops, I'm trying to empty it out. Just some screws. So this is the original. It's bloody heavy. I don't know if you can read that writing. I can't read it. It's glazed. My grandma used to have this in her cupboard I remember when I was about 10 years old. I once saw it in her cupboard. I said, "Oh, what's that?" And she says, "Oh, you mind, don't you touch that, blah, blah, blah." I remember this when I was little. But anyway, she passed away in the 80s. I think it was the 80s. I think it was about 84, 83, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be about then. So this is the registered number on it. And I've searched the internet and I could only find a few entries, and they usually go for about but anywhere between £125 to £70 or something. Depends on the condition, but this is in good condition, right? And I was talking to the maritime guy down on the beach on the harbour, and they have a lot of, well, you see it in the next video. The next video when I get this processed, which is still processing right now. When I get it uploaded, we went on this boat. Now this is the casting. It's never been drilled, so you can see the dimple where they punched it, and it's never actually been drilled. It was turned after the war. They had a surplus of wartime memorabilia, so what they did was they cut the lids off these things so they wouldn't become dangerous, so they were no longer usable as a weapon or whatever, and they turned them into ornaments. And as you can see, there's no holes in the side of the thing for any pins there either. It's a casting, and it's bloody heavy, and they stuck these hinges on the back. And so from what I gather, because I had to do a little bit of historical research on it, because there was quite a few of these around, there were some of them would turn into inkwells. So the inkwells had a porcelain, or they actually had not porcelain, a china type of cup that was inside to use as an inkwell, and others were turned into ashtrays. So that I think this is the ashtray one, because it doesn't have the porcelain or china cup inside it. So they have these little grooves on the side where you could put your cigarettes, or if it was the inkwell, you could put your pen or your nib, whatever. So they had two different functions. One was the inkwell, one was a cigarette ashtray, whichever. And this one didn't come with that ceramic thing inside it. So anyway, that's what it says on the side, and it's raised lettering, and I'm not sure if it's gold or yellow. I don't know, paint. I don't know what they used. But it's still all intact. There's a small chip on the allies, on the L there, but you've got to be careful when you're cleaning these things to be gentle, because it's over 100 years old. I mean, well, 1915, obviously it was made after the war. So it'd be about 100 years, maybe a bit more than that. old, and they're extremely heavy. And I wanted to feel it to see what the weight was on this. So at one point I unscrewed the bolt. It's the original nut that's at the bottom. Original nut. That's from when it was first made, because I looked on the internet and it's got the same nut. It's got exactly the same nut and bolt. And what they did was they put a washer in the bottom. Oh, you can't see it because it's full of crap. But there's actually a washer in the bottom of there. If I can scrape it with my fingernail. There's a nut. Ah, you can see it. Alright, so I'm scraping. You can just about see the screw. If you just not do glare, you can just see the screw there. It's got a lot of crap in it because it's been... I use it as an ashtray and a candle holder for a little while. It's made out of cast iron, this top part. So I actually did that at one point and took the top off and felt the weight of it, because I was just curious about how heavy these things were without the base on it. They're pretty heavy, but obviously with the base on it, it's a lot heavier. And so the reason I'm making the video is because there's a guy at the Maritime Museum on the seafront in the boat. I've forgotten the name of the boat now. Sorry, Ben. I know his name, Ben. So what I'm doing is making the video to show him this, and he might be interested in buying it off me. I don't know. We'll see when I contact him. Whatever. So yeah, it was these were originally cast in a refinery. They cast these iron things in a refinery, and it's magnetic, as you know. There's a magnet stuck to it. So yeah. So that's what I'm doing really. I'm just videoing this for him, and as you can see, it's in really good condition. I don't know what the coating they put on it, but I think they used some sort of varnish on it. I've not washed it because I don't want it to go rusty, so what I've usually done is brush it off, and I've used a bit of polish on it just so it doesn't, a bit of beeswax on it so it doesn't corrode, because obviously, well, cast iron generally doesn't corrode badly anyway, but so you could do a search for this wording and the serial number on the other side. If you do a search for this, you'll find a few. Come on, focus camera, focus. If you do a search for the serial number, which is just put in the number and the date, you can find a few entries on Google for these. And the one I saw one particular one which went for £125. It was a lot worse condition than this. It was badly corroded. It looked like it had been in a damp area. It had been poorly stored. It was really, really rough looking. And mine is in immaculate condition, so technically mine should be worth more than what that one went for. And there's some other ones that, well, I think it depends on the listing really. Some of them were listed a few years back, but originally when I searched for this was about 10 years ago, and I only found one entry about 10 years ago, and that one was listed at £100. But this one is obviously worth more than that, because it's older than 10 years ago. So I mean, extra 10 years on top. So I mean, every year that goes by they're worth more, because they become rarer. And obviously if they're stored improperly and they get damaged or chipped. There was one entry where somebody sold one of these on at an auction, and the base had been chipped on the corner, but this one's not chipped at all. It's in one piece. There's no chippings on it, so it's not been dropped or anything, which is a good thing. So I wanted to show Bennett so you could get an idea of its condition. Yeah, my arm's getting tired lifting this thing up. It's very heavy. So anyway, I'll be uploading that video. We went out. We went on the boat. I had a shandy, and my daughter and her boyfriend were there. and then we went off to play some snooker. We had a bit of fun. I don't get out much, so yeah, it was worth the day out. It was nice because my birthday was about a week ago, so my daughter wanted to come on my birthday, but she had a bad cough at the time. She wasn't very well, so we had to postpone that. And yeah, so that's all for now. I'll send this video along to Ben. See you later, bye.